My name is Nick Larson, and this is day 3. We're working on JavaScript 13K practicing. That is making a game in JavaScript that runs in a browser using 13 kilobytes of total assets or less. Excuse me. It's a bit of an early stream this morning. The reason for that is we had some sick kids last night. Had to stay up and take care of them, so sort of running on fumes here. And I'm not going to be able to make it throughout the day, so I'm not going to make it to the regularly scheduled time, so we're just going to do it this morning instead. But let's go ahead and get back to it. Here's a little bit of where we're at right now. Is we have this purple is the player, and then we also have these items right here. The yellow item, the blue item, and the cyan item. And the idea is we want to make it so that when you move over an item, it picks it up. And then we want to render an inventory up here. And that's going to be the goal for today. We have 3 more weeks to work on this, so I think, well, after today. So if we can get through the inventory system and like the main like objective function of this game today, then we can start sort of building out, you know, the interesting parts of it next week. Hopefully the sound and the tutorial, and then after that get on to actually getting some graphics going and fleshing it out a little bit and making it nice. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. So we got a couple of issues right now. One thing that you'll notice is when we move the player, it doesn't actually, well, let's just take a look at the way that it's stored. So you have these things called cells, which are make grid, make cells. Where is make cells? Make cells. All right, so you have these objects that are cells, and they have items, and these items are like, okay, the player, or, you know, these actual like game item things that we want to pick up. And right now, when you move the player, it doesn't move the player from it, like it gets inserted into the first cell, but then when you move it, we're actually only moving the DOM element. We're not actually changing the way that it's stored in there. And so that's the first thing that I want to do, is get that fixed up, which shouldn't be that difficult. We just need to figure out exactly how to do that. So we know where the thing previously was, so we can go and get a reference to the old cell. And then we know where it is now, so we can go get a reference to the new cell. So that's what we want to do. Basically want to say const get player cell equals, or really I guess what I want to do is say get object cell, get item cell, yeah, item cell, whatever, and then just pass in the item, and the item can be a player or, you know, whatever. Maybe we'll just call it object. All right, and each object has a row and a call on it, which we can use to get the cell index, which I also want to go ahead and abstract away, because this will be like the 3rd or 4th time that I've used it. Okay, const get cell index equals function object. Okay, and then basically all we want to do here is we want to say grid dot cells of get cell index of object, return that, and then this is return object dot row times grid dot width plus object.call. Okay. Let's see where all I'm doing that. It's right here. So right here we want to say get cell index row 4 call 4. And then we want 1 1. And then we want 0 6. And then we want 7 3. Okay. And then what we want to do is say handle move. Where's the handle move function? Oh, there it is. Render player. Aha. Get cell index player. Okay, so now what we want to do is say const old cell equals get object cell player, and then that's the old cell, and then the new cell is const new cell equals get object cell of player if old cell not equal new cell. Then we want to say old cell dot items dot remove. I want to remove JavaScript remove item from array. 9 ways to remove elements. Oh man, JavaScript is an awesome language. Let's see, is there an easy way to do it? Remove. Nope, we don't want to pop. Nope, we don't want to shift. We need an index. Splice. Using the array filter method. Nope. Also not what I want. Making a remove method. Clear or reset a JavaScript array. Remove splice. Splice. Inserts replaces the first element at 4th index. What if we do something like months dots, no, let's just copy this. Months 2 dot splice 1. 1. Run that and just see what happens. Console.log months 2. Run that. Okay, so that's how you get rid of an item. You have to know the index. Okay, great. Is there like... How do I remove a particular element from an array in JavaScript? I have been to this question before. Edited October 2016. Array equals array.filter. Removing multiple items. Okay. So we need something like const array remove equals function array item. Okay. Delete splice. Delete index. If you do not want an empty slot, delete is fine. If you do want an empty slot, delete is fine. If you don't, you should use the splice method. Okay, splice it is. Array remove. We're just basically going to copy this. Var index. Item. Okay. And then we'll copy a little link here. And then let's get to the point where we actually do the remove. So we want to say array remove. Old cell dot items and player. And then we want to say new cell dot items dot push player. And then the idea here is that once we have moved the thing and we have access to this new cell, then when picking up the items will be very, very easy. That's the plan anyway. Let's see if it works. How are we going to see if this works? We're going to console.log old cell old, and then we're going to say old cell dot items dot index of player to see if it's greater than -1. And then here we're going to do old and new. To see if it was moved. Old before. Old after. All right. And it didn't work. Grid is not defined. Grid is not defined. Grid. I mean, that looks like grid. Oh, you know what? This right here. Ew. Ew. Yeah, that's me trying to use global state. So when I put them in, yep. Okay, that's kind of lame. Nothing comes easy. I really like the idea of having get cell index. So what if we pass it in? Okay. Grid. Make cells. Get cell index. The grid. Okay. Var G equals the grid or grid. Does that work? Okay. Okay. All right, perfect. So the old before is greater than -1. And then we removed it, and then we added it to new. Oh, and we see now that it was not the first item in the list. Old before 1, now it's -1. Okay, this is perfect. All right, so it is actually moving the thing now, so this is good. Great. Okay, so let's go to the to-dos, and let's say when the player moves, we want to move the object between cells. Now, make moving the player, move the player object to the... Oh, wait, I already had that. I just put the same requirement on there twice. Okay, pick up items when entering a tile that contains them. All right, let's pick up the items. How do we pick up the items? Well, we already have a reference. We already have a reference to the cell. Let's get rid of all this logging. Pretty convinced that that works. All right, so we already have the cell. Now what we want to do is say something along the lines of new cell. Oh. Yeah, okay. Var new cell, all right, new cell dot items dot each for each item. Okay, if item equals player, return. If it does not equal player, then we want to continue. Then we want to say oh. Yeah. Okay. Let's just have a new function. Pick up items. Const pick up items equals function. Sell item. No, just sell. Okay. And then we're going to have and character. Okay. So we have sell dot items. Now this is a place where I would say filter. I guess the other option here is we make it so that when you do some sort of action like pressing space, that's what does the actual pickup. So you have to decide to pick up the item. It doesn't just automatically pick them up for you. That sort of makes it like an action step though, and I don't really want that. Okay, so yeah, so when you enter it, we're just gonna go ahead and pick them up. Okay, so items to collect. I guess the way we can do this is just say if the item is this, else the item needs to then go to the user. Okay, and this is not player, this is character, and we're going to say if, okay, character dot, and that's a great one. I think it's inventory. Make player. Inventory. Okay, inventory. Player dot inventory dot push item. And then we need a second pass to remove it from this one. So then we say character dot inventory dot for each item, and this is basically we added them to this. Now we're going to remove them and put them in the other one, or we're going to remove them from the old one. We put them into the inventory, now we need to remove them from the cell. Okay. Array remove, and this is the array cell.items and item. Okay. And then so right here we just have pick up items, new cell, and player. All right, and what we're looking for here is to console.log player.inventory to see what comes out of here. Yep. Oh, all right. See, we picked up the item. And what is in there is a sprocket. Okay, great. So we actually picked up the item. The one small issue is we need to remove the item from the DOM. Okay. So let's just say item dot parent. Okay. If item dot parent node item dot parent node dot remove child item. All right, and then it would just be in here. I think so. Okay, let's try that. So now when we go over the item, it should be gone. Oh, and that didn't happen. Oh, it's not parent node. It's item.element. Item. Okay. Let L equal item.element. L I'm gonna forget that all the time, so let's just do something like const unrender equals function object, and then we're just going to put this in here. Unrender item L equals object.element. Let's go find out where else we do the parent node trick. All right, unrender. How does render player work? Oh, that's interesting. So this is always failing, but moving the thing, there can only be one instance of it. That's actually kind of interesting. I think I'm just going to do this correctly, though. Unrender player. All right, one more time. Now it should actually pick these up. Yeah, there we go. Pick the items up. Great, and we can see that they're all in here now. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. The row and the column. Do I want to do anything with the row and the column when it gets picked up? Ooh. Does it need a row and a column? Yeah. Seems weird to not update the row and the column. Okay. It's changing grids. Does the row and column matter for something like this? Yeah. It's a good question. I don't know the answer off the top of my head. Not really using it for items. Not really using it yet. Not really using it yet. It's based on the world. Maybe we just leave that. That's where we got it from. It needs a row and a column in the inventory. Because, like, what if you wanted to move it around your inventory? Right now, we don't have, like, a predefined size of an array for an inventory. Right. Okay, so let's just do that. Let's just move them. When you pick something up and you put it into a new grid, it needs to assume the location of the new grid. Okay. So let's just do that then. Let's just say, let's just say character dot inventory dot length. Okay. We're just going to say item dot row equals 0. Item dot call equals this, and then we push it in there, and that should do it. So the blue one, all right, what we should see is that in order, there we go, 0, 1, 2. Okay, that makes sense to me. If y'all are just stopping by, hello! Thanks for stopping by. If you're just checking it out, you're just lurking, that's totally cool. If you want to say hi, that's also cool. Just working on making a really simple game. What we're doing right now is trying to make a little inventory system. And this is for JS13K, which is like a competition that happens every August to build a game, a fully working game in a browser using 13 kilobytes of total assets, period, or less, which is quite the challenge. Right now, I don't really know where we are. Let's go ahead and take a look at that because I haven't actually looked at this in a minute. I think we just say build. Right now we're at 2.2 kilobytes. So we have a lot of room to keep growing. Right now what we do is we move around the board and we have to go collect these different items. And then these items are going to be used to eventually get to some sort of exit or, oh, the theme of this competition is offline. So right now the whole idea is that some server or some system is offline and you got to go collect the tools in order to turn the server back online. And then the trick now is, now that we've collected the tools, I just want to display them so that you can actually see them. And then I want to put some sort of server on here that requires you to have certain tools. And then when you get to those, you go over there and play some sort of little mini game with the thing to try and make it do what you want it to do. Tapping a lot or something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And then that's probably all I'm really going to have time for today. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. We're just going to keep grinding away on it. If you have any questions, do please ask. All right, so we picked up the items that a tile has, and now what we want to do is make the inventory display. All right, make the inventory display. I think I want to put the inventory like up here. And this is going to be kind of a hack. Right now, the inventory is a child. Well, there is no inventory view. But I think what I want to do is, how do I get rid of this one? There we go. I think what I want to do for this is I'm going to make the inventory a child element of the user, and then I'm going to statically place it on the screen where I want it to be. Probably up here at the top with some sort of like padding around it so that it's there. Because eventually this world is not going to be 8 by 8. It's going to be humongous, and you're going to have to go like way off the screen to the right, to the left, up and down, and etc., etc. But so I'm going to want it. Maybe the inventory system is down here at the bottom. Yeah, whatever. We'll figure it out in just a minute. But the trick right now is if I make a child element of this, inspect. Can I close the console somehow? That would be great. All right. If I edit as HTML and say div class equals inventory, and then close this div. Okay. All right, I now have something in here called inventory that I should be able to add some styles for. So let's go ahead and do that. How do I just add a new one? Plus. Yeah, dot inventory. There we go. Height. Let's just do 100px. Width 100px. No, let's go 400 because you can hold 4 items or whatever. 400px, and then I want to say position static, and then I want to say border 100, no, 2px solid black. And then I want to say bottom 0. That doesn't seem to work. I was really hoping that was just going to work, so I wouldn't have to worry about moving it. Position static. Let's go background red. And let's say top is, oh, I don't want static, I want fixed. There we go. Okay, now let's get rid of the top here. Okay, now we want bottom left 50%. Margin left minus 200 pixels. Okay, and what I want this to actually be is 50 pixels and 200 pixels. And then I want, that's a crazy feature, 200 pixels, and then I want this to be minus 100. Oh, crike. Okay. All right, inventory. Okay, so that worked. So we can put it as a child of this and we don't have to worry about it. And that makes everything really easy. Like, really easy. Super duper easy. Okay. I still, however, want to change the way that this inventory works. So make the player inventory is actually going to be an object and items and element inventory. All right, perfect. Div items inventory. Now we ought to just copy this. Go to the styles. Inventory. Okay, great. Works for me. So you can have 4 items. Yep. Okay. That's your inventory box. Now let's make it so the inventory box renders, which is render. No. Okay, so inventory. Okay. Not const, let inventory items equal character dot inventory dot items. Okay. All right, so inventory items. Unrender character.inventory items. Okay. Inventory items. That puts things into the inventory, sort of. This idea of like pushing things to the inventory is we'll come back to that. Okay. Okay, inventory items for each. That should still pick them up. We have created this. Now we need to render inventory items. Constant target location equals get cell index. We need to render this. I only want to render the box one time, but I want to update the stuff that's in the box. So render. Oh. Not 100% here. Because I call render player all the time, every single time I move it. And I don't want to redraw the div each time. So maybe in this main render call, this render cell, or maybe we just do it right here. Var player equals this. Return player. And then we just say player dot element dot append child player dot inventory dot element. All right, that will do it one time by just adding it to it immediately. Okay, let's see. All right, and there's our item. Everything seems to stay cool. All right, now when we pick something up, we need to update we need to render inventory items. Const render inventory items. I don't really want to render inventory items. I mean, I do. But really what I want to do is just really what I want to do is when you pick up the item, I want to say in here, I just want to say something like character.inventory. Let's just do let inventory element equal character.inventory.element. And then we just say inventory element dot append child item dot element. Oh. Okay, it's just a little CSS issue. Dot inventory dot item. Now what we want to do is say height 50 px, width 50 px, float left, oh look at that, oh that's like, okay, that's fun, that's fun. All right, I think though it would be better for the inventory if there was some dividers. Let's go look up CSS pinstripe background stripes in CSS. Lay it on me. I don't even want gradient diagonal stripes. I want vertical stripes. Repeating linear gradient. Edit on CodePen. Let's do (0 degrees). Let's do 90 degrees. Let's do AAA. AAA. Let's do 1. Let's do 1. Let's do 50. That's what I want. Right there. Okay. Let's go do that. inventory, background, we want red, and then we want this gradient. I guess we don't really want this gradient, we can just do it as part of it. Red. Now let's do something muted, like 444 pound. Let's try 444. Oh, I want this one to be 444, 444. Yeah, that one. That sounds about right. Let's take a look at that. I want it to be the other way. I want it to be the other way. 51? No, that's not going to be what I want. Okay, whatever. It's good enough, right? This is just hacking styles together. Alright, you picked up the blue, you picked up the yellow, you picked up the cyan. Great. Alright. So that's good. We have now picked up elements, moved them into our inventory, and now what we want is a goal. Now we want a goal. Alright, I guess first let's think about a font. Let's look at emojis. Browser emojis. Emojis. And let's see if we can find some emojis to represent these things instead of having them be colors, because it's just a little bit easier to look at. All right. We want... There's got to be like a wrench. A boot, a hat, an umbrella, socks, purse, pants, a hat, gloves. We do gloves. Copy. Let's see here. Can I do an emoji background? That's another good one. CSS emoji background. Emoji CSS. Not really. Take a look at this. No, this is like a... Yeah, no. This is not what we're looking for. So I think what we actually want to do is something like... We want something like item.sprocket. And we want content. But I think we need to do this in a before. And then for the background, we're just going to eliminate that for now. Let's see if that works. It does, but it's not nearly big enough in size. Font size. Uh, 30px. That's pretty good. Now let's get the spacing done. Line height 100px. Nope, 50px. You gotta save it. Okay, that does a good job of vertically centering it. And then you want text align center. Oh, that's perfect. All right, you need to get the gloves. Let's go back to the widgets, the emojis, the widgets. Okay, what else can we get? Give me some gears. I want a gear. Oh, you need the electricity. You definitely need the electricity. And you need come on, there's got to be some tools. Where's the tools? Am I just missing this? Oh, no. We have found them. All right, you need the wrench. That's a good one. Yep. Content. You need the wrench. You need the floppy. Is there a thumb drive? You need a mouse. Is there a gear icon? Ooh, a key. That's a good one. Where can I find a key? That's a good one right there. Let's do the key. Not electricity. Wrench. Oh, a flashlight. And I really wish they had a thumb drive. But maybe this floppy disk will work. I don't know. Like, does it really matter? Okay, that's cool. Let's grab one of these. I guess we'll just do the disk drive. Okay. Uh-oh. That doesn't appear to have worked. Maybe it's because these aren't in here. Wadget. I mean, what? Oh, before. You gotta do before. All right. Let's go get the flashlight. Let's go get the key. Let's go get the disc. Let's go solve the problem. Okay. Liking it. I'm liking it. All right. I'm going to make this 2 pixels. And then I want to start it. How can I start it off back? If colors have a lot of contrast, this one can get very jagged. Even normal tricks like translate Z0 don't fix it. Let's make this bigger so everyone can kind of see it. 1px? Oh, that didn't do it. How do I make it 50px? Repeating linear gradient. Maybe we do -1, 0. Background position -1 px 0 px. I think that kind of did it. Let's try that again. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now let's make the whole border that color. Oh. The whole border that color? What just happened? Oh, I see. I'm not copying the pound. And that's the darker color. All right. There we go. Got the disc. Got the key. Oh man, that's great. Okay. We have collected the items. We have now shown them. And that's it. I feel pretty good about that overall. Make inventory display. And because we're using emojis for the graphics, we don't have to worry about the size. Now, let's just make it so that if you go to the top left corner and you have all of this garbage, then, all right, if you go to the top left corner and you have all of this stuff, then you win. Yep. I think that's what I want to do. Okay. All right. Make winning condition. All right, make winning condition. If we go to the top left corner, which is another thing that we can sort of highlight, we can say dot grid dot cell nth colon nth 0 or colon first child. We want to say background and we're going to want to put this in order now. Background green, background light green. Okay, that's the exit. All right, so we got to go get all this stuff. Woo, picked it up. Yeah, all right, pick that up. Pick that up. And then get to the exit. And when you get to the exit, it just announces that you have won. Okay. So, handle player move. All right. If new cell dot row, do cells have rows and columns? Cell make cells. Row call row call. Okay, great. Now go back to my thing. It's time to break this up because I can't tell where I was. If new cell dot row equals 0 and new cell, I guess we just do player dot row equals 0 and player dot call equals 0. How about we just have another function? const check win equals function if player not equals 0 or player.call not equals 0, just return. Okay. What do you want to do? I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna say now what we need to do is check if the player inventory contains a widget, a wadget, and a sprocket. That's what we need to do. If player.inventory.items .length is less than 3, return. Okay. And now I want to say let's just say const player has item equals function. This is a really crappy way of going about it. All right, items needed. Const items needed equals widget wadget sprocket. Okay. Inventory dot items. Nope. Player dot inventory dot items dot each for each if items needed dot has own property item dot name items dot items needed item dot name equals true. Object dot keys player dot inventory no items needed dot filter. This is an awful way of going about this. I just can't think of anything better at the moment. Nope. Items needed. Not dot length equals 0. Let's do this. Let items needed equal that. Console.log items needed. Turn. I don't want that. I want missing items. And then check when. All right. If alert, you are winner. You have brought the system back online. All right. It's difficult to like make this do what I want it to do. Not what I wanted to do. Oh, I was sort of expecting something to happen there. Did I refresh? Sorry about that. Okay, I was expecting this to call this player.row not equals 0 or player.call not equals 0. So the player has already moved by the time we check this. Console.log player. Okay. If player.inv. Oh, I see. Yeah, the inventory length. Yeah, let's just get rid of that. I kind of like it to tell you that it's missing stuff. Oh, alright, we still need 2. Still need 1. Oh. We're going to have to do that as a set timeout because this needs to like be on the winner circle when it alerts you. Okay. What is it? Set timeout handler. And the time 0. Okay, let's try that one more time. Doop. All right, and now you're actually on the square. Okay, perfect. You have brought the system back online. That's great. Okay, that's great. That's awesome. All right, that's going to be it for today. I am late to go help my wife, and I got to get back to bed. Thank you, everybody, for joining. This was good. We made some good progress. This was a great first week. Everything went pretty smoothly overall. I feel like the game actually has a win condition, actually has some interaction with it. Next week, I want to focus on getting a tutorial going. And I also want to focus on getting some sound in there so that when you move, it actually makes noise. And when you pick up the different elements, it makes different sounds. So you get some sort of audible feedback. Maybe do some like some music. Figure it out. Anyway, thanks for joining, and I will see you all next week. Thank you so much.